What is up, everybody? Ben Gothard here, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises, author of CEO at 20, Little Book for Big Dreams. I'm just at my local library, coming here to work and get a little bit of knowledge, and I wanted to talk about formal versus informal education, an entrepreneur's dilemma. So, I'm sure that we all are faced with this same struggle, right? Do we want to spend money going to college or getting formal education? Do we want to invest that time, because it's 3 or 4 years of our lives? Do we want to maybe uproot ourselves if we're going out of town, going to somewhere else? Or do we want to start working? Do we want to invest in online courses outside of formal education? Do we want to go through and just get experience in the workplace or just start working? And I think it's I don't think that there is one right answer, but I think that it's important to talk about both sides and the merits to both sides. And it's important to think about it, because as entrepreneurs, it is crucial, it is critical that we do educate ourselves. But the way in which we go about educating ourselves, again, it differs from side to side. So with formal education, I'm a senior in LSU right now. I'm a senior in college, and I will say that as an entrepreneur, a lot of the things that they're teaching in college is not relevant. It's not applicable to me, and it's not useful for what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build my business, and I'm trying to make a name for myself, and it just doesn't help. It's not helpful to me to be at in college where I am now. It could be the major that I'm in. I'm a finance major, and that doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm interested in. But at the same time, it could be the major, right? It could be me. It could be I'm not putting forth enough effort to relate what I'm learning in school to what I'm learning in business. But what drives me nuts is that most of the people in the business college have not actually run businesses. And more importantly than that, when they're talking about education and they're talking about business, they're talking about it from the perspective of an employee. And they're trying to train people to become employees. And they're trying to train people to be reliant on others for a job, for instruction, to tell them what to do and where to go and who to be and all these things. And that really bugs me, because when you consistently tell people to go work for somebody else and to go get a good job and to work for somebody else, then that just ingrains in their head over and over and over again that they're not good enough to be an entrepreneur, that they're not good enough to start their own business, to go on their side hustle. And when you're constantly reinforcing that message, and it's coming through kindergarten, through first grade, through second grade, all through middle school, through high school, and then again in college, most people are not going to break out of that mentality. Most people are always going to think like an employee. Most people are never going to start their own business and just go out on a limb like that. And so, that is kind of one thing that I struggle with a lot with formal education. Now, at the same time, I have gotten a lot out of college. I have met a ton of interesting people. I built some great connections, built relationships with some truly incredible people, and some of my professors have been incredible. Some of my biggest mentors have been some of the adjunct professors that are actually running businesses, and they're also teaching. So those people, those professors are different, in my opinion, because they're actually out there building businesses. They know what they're talking about. They are entrepreneurs themselves, and they're coming back as adjunct professors to teach fellow entrepreneurs. And so those kinds of people are the ones that I would look out for in the formal education system, right? So, instead of, and I'm not saying either way is right or wrong. I can only speak from my own experiences, and I can only pose questions and maybe help you think a little bit and voice my own opinion on it. But, as far as formal education goes, I think you really need to have a reason why you're going. Let's say you want to be a doctor. Okay, well, obviously you have to go through some formal education, right? You have to go through med school. First, you got to get a college degree. You got to do internships. You got to go and do all those different things, which is super important, right? Because I don't want somebody who's not very well trained cutting into me and operating on me. But, at the same time, if you want to start your own business, or, you want to do something that is not, predefined, like go work for somebody, then maybe formal education is not for you. Maybe invest that money in a training or a mentor or somebody who's already doing the things that you want to do, who can help you get to that level that you want to get to. Now, again, this is all completely a case-by-case scenario, and there's no right answer, but it is important, I think, every time, regardless of the case, to know why you're doing what you're doing, to have a reason and intention behind the things that you're doing, right? So, I went to college in the first place. I wanted to be a doctor, and then I wanted to be an attorney, just like my dad, because he's the coolest person on the planet. And then, I really got swept up into the entrepreneurship game, and I caught the bug. And for those of you who have it, you know what I'm talking about, entrepreneurial bug. But, I decided that if I started something, I'm going to see it through. And I'm not going to be the guy that starts something and just, doesn't finish it and doesn't hold himself accountable to what he says. So, whether it be for the right reasons or not, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to finish college, and then, I'm always pursuing my business ventures. And I think college is a little bit more on the side than my business ventures. But, regardless of what it is for you, I really want to challenge you to think about why you're doing what you're doing, or what it is you're doing, and really have intention behind it. Because if we all think about that and we can be very direct and purposeful with what we're doing, I think we can be a lot more effective and get better results, right? So with formal education, if you have a reason for going, great, go. But if you don't have a reason for going, and it's just the thing that you think you should be doing, that may not be the best reason. Because if you go the formal education route, it is very expensive, and it is very time consuming, and it is a huge chunk of your life that you just can't get back. And a lot of people will say, okay, well, if I don't go the formal education route, what route can I go? What are my options? Well, I would say first and foremost, you need a mentor, right? You need a mentor that can help guide you to the place that you want to go. You need a mentor that can tell you, okay, I've been through this, I've done these things, this is what's worked for me, this is what hasn't worked for me, and give you some guidance. Because when you have somebody who's helping you and giving you one-on-one mentorship, then they can truly point you in the right direction. Now, there's a caveat to this, because if you don't work your ass off and you don't truly put in the work to listen to your mentor and meet up with them and stay connected, then most people are probably not going to give you their time. Because I know that I have mentored some people, and I only want to work with people who are willing to put in the work and put in the effort, and they're going to show me that they're serious. So that's from my perspective. Now, not everybody's like me. Some mentors might be okay with you're not doing it, but I would always recommend that if you're going to go for a mentor, be ready to put in the work, right? And that goes for anything. If you want to make something of yourself, you got to put in the work. So, put in the work if you have a mentor. Second off, there are tons and tons and tons of online courses out there, training programs, different things that you can learn from. There's tons of free resources like YouTube. You can learn almost anything you want on YouTube. If it's not on YouTube, first of all, you found a gap in the market that you might want to then figure out how to do and fill, but you can learn almost anything on YouTube. There's tons of blogs out there. You can go to niche sites. There's tons of free education like Coursera. There's Khan Academy. There's TED Talks. There are any number of resources available for you to truly learn and educate yourself for free, right? And so what I would recommend, if you are going to buy a course, consume all of the free content first, and then, only then, if you have decided that person, that mentor, or that course instructor is good and provides tons of information, that's when I would go out and I would purchase the course, right? So one of the courses, and I'll be straight up with you, I've purchased online courses before. One of the courses that I purchased was about publishing, publishing on Kindle. And since getting that course, it really helped to cut the learning curve and expedite the process of publishing. Now, one thing that I wish I would have done was, I wish I would have bought the course before I had published my first book, because I was like, okay, I'm doing this my way, and I'm not going to buy a course. I'm just going to do it myself and see how it goes. And I did that, and then I was like, okay, now that I've invested so much time in this, I might as well get a training to sharpen my skills, improve myself. And so I got the course after, and then I implemented the things in the course for the next couple books. And I have 15 books that I've written on myself since then. And the course definitely helped out. And it is something that I would definitely recommend, is to get a course if you're struggling with something or want to learn something. Courses are great. Again, I would get all the online free content before you actually purchase a course, because you want to make sure that the person that you're learning from knows what they're talking about. And I would also make sure that whoever is doing the thing that you want to learn is still doing it. They haven't stopped doing it and just started teaching, because you want them to be on the leading edge of the industry, right? So like, if you're going to get an Amazon FBA course, make sure the person that you're learning from is still selling on Amazon FBA. If you're going to get a Kindle course, make sure the person's still writing, still publishing, so on and so forth. So, there's tons of different ways to go about doing this. There's tons of different resources that you can get that can help you on your journey. But it is just a matter of figuring out which one you want to do and going for it, right? There is no right or wrong course. There is no better or worse path. But if you dabble and you keep switching, and say you go formal education for a little bit, you decide it's not for you, then you get a course, you kind of half-ass go through it, and you get another course, and you get a mentor, and you keep switching between all these different things, you're never going to give yourself enough time to really get traction in anything. And so you're never going to give yourself the opportunity to truly be successful in any one thing. So the message, the takeaway is, formal education versus informal education, it depends on you. It depends on what you want to learn. It depends on what route you want to go. But stick to it. Pick something, stick to it, dominate it, and be the best at that. You can absolutely do it. I believe in you. I love you. Let's build a better world together.